What's going on, everybody? My name's Nick English, host of English Encore podcast. I've been doing podcasts now for almost a year. So really just trying to start this up. I've been doing podcasts for about a year now. I rotate every week between Buffalo sports, and then the following week I just talk about general stuff, NBA, NHL, MLB, just different stuff. Started getting this Instagram page going a few weeks ago. I'm going to try getting people on every Saturday, whether it's different athletic personnel. Just want to give you guys some content while, everyone's quarantined. I hope everyone's staying safe out there. Today I'm be having Justin Cooper from LMC Athletics. Me and Justin went to school together. He was fifth all-time leading scorer at Cortland State, first team All-SUNYAC in 2016-17. So I'm going to be having him on from 11:30 to 12. And then from 12 to 12:30, I'm be having Takal Molson, guard from Seton Hall. He went to Canisius for 2 years, won MAC Rookie of the Year, and then was first team All-MAC his second year. He transferred to Seton Hall this past year and had to sit out for a year. But he'll be a name you want to keep an eye on for sure going forward. But yeah, if you like sports content, like podcasts, definitely check out my link in my bio on my Instagram. Gives you all podcasts. I'm about 38 episodes now in, I believe. I'm going to have another episode tuned in after I go live with these guys today. So we're just going to wait a few minutes here, and Justin's going to hop on with me, hopefully get some people on here. And if you're ever interested in, adding or asking me to put on some different content, always just send me a message. I can always willing to take requests about what topics. And here's Justin right now. Let me add him on here. Let's get him in here. It's connecting. Yo, Coop, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? How we doing?
Good.
To see you, bro.
Saw you guys going hard there on your page, man. Good work.
Yeah, man. I was working. It sucked that at the end. It kind of, I don't know what happened there, but I like that ending part, getting some kids in there to challenge me and just work hard and compete. And
That's always fun. But, yeah, it was good. It's always fun Saturday morning, getting the kids up, bouncing the basketball a little bit, and, just having a little fun.
Yeah, for sure. So first and foremost, how you doing? You staying safe out there during this weird time?
I'm trying to, man. I cut my own hair. I'm used to seeing a barber once a week, and now I'm in my parents' bathroom trying to cut my hair. And it's crazy, man. I'm staying safe so far. Everybody's healthy, so I can't complain. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad. Just staying inside, going out. My dogs are always wondering, we walk them pretty much almost every other day, and now they're walking every day for a few hours. They're wondering what's going on here. But
Yeah, exactly. They're getting all the attention.
Yeah, safe and healthy, though. That's the big thing.
Yep.
But, yeah, I was just telling everyone that was tuning in, fifth all-time leading scorer at Cortland, first team All-SUNYAC 16-17. But,
Yep.
let's talk about a little bit of LMC here. So why don't you just talk about what made you start up LMC with, Leiden and them, and what your goal is with that company?
Yeah, so we started LMC actually when we were still in Cortland, Zach and I. We were juniors. Ty was just drafted to the Nuggets. He really wanted to come back and do like a give back type of camp. I always loved coaching. I was even coaching AAU teams before I went to college, and I was helping programs out with practices and things like that. Zach was doing the same. We just really have a love for the game and a love for teaching the game. And it kind of took off. We were kind of doing it in the beginning, just kind of, for a give back camp and helping players get better individually and collectively. And then after that first year where we were just doing it in the summer, we were kind of we kind of have a niche here where we can use it. We can do different things. We can run programs. There's a need in our area for youth programs. So it's just been great. We've been running a ton of different events. I mean, obviously before the coronavirus, we were utilizing school days off to run clinics and camps, like Martin Luther King Day, President's Day, holidays, all that stuff, which was really, really good. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm really, really excited to get back in the gym. I think we've gained a decent following since we've been in quarantine or social distancing, whatever it's called. We've been, trying to do some online stuff. We've been doing all of our online stuff for free, just for kids to get working and to get a basketball hands to stay together. But it's really been really, really good. And our goals are just to try and get better. As we go, we don't think we're the end all be all and the gurus and the best people that do it. We just want to help kids have good experiences playing the game of basketball and to learn life lessons while playing. And we think so far we're doing that. And we just want to keep improving on that.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I coached for the first time this year with our local program, Hamburg Little Caters in Buffalo. And I was coaching 11, 12 boys. It was my first time coaching. I've always loved basketball. And, it's definitely interesting, those first few weeks you're trying to figure out what drills work, what drills don't.
Right.
And it's always like grind, just as the season progresses, especially, we didn't have the best season, but, I think a lot of the kids had fun, which is always the most important part, even if, is getting them better. And as long as they're having fun, I had kids
Exactly.
that barely ever picked up a basketball and could barely make a shot. And then by the end of the year, they were making baskets every week in practice. So it seems like you guys are doing awesome. I tune in for a little bit, usually every Saturday. You guys are getting usually I feel like 30, 40 viewers going with you. Awesome. What do you think is your favorite drill personally to do at home?
At home. So at home is tough because there's a couple things. Like, for example, like when we do our Zoom workouts, there's people that are in their laundry room. There's people that are in their basement. There's people that are in their garage. Some people have a basket. Some people don't. If you have a basket, you've got to shoot because basketball is a game where if you can shoot, you can really play. So if you have a basket, drills, form shooting, we have a form shooting workout that Tyler posted on our page the other day, which is excellent for young kids to use. But the big thing is just getting a ball in your hand. If you don't have a basket, dribble, work on something. If you have a brick wall or a chimney, be able to pass off of it. Something that keeps that basketball in your hands and you keep working. And if you don't have any of those things, just staying in shape. Finding a way to do push-ups, go for a run, things like that are always going to be able to help your game because at some point this is going to end, hopefully sooner than later. And like I was saying the other day, I was doing an interview with Coach Mo from Cortland. Like, if the quarantine ended today, there'd be AAU tournament. Someone would be running one tomorrow. So you have to make sure you're ready to go, prepared, in shape. So just do anything that you can physically do while at home, and just keep working on your game.
Yeah, absolutely. What advice would you offer? You played 4 years. 3 of them were at Cortland, right? Or did you play all 4 at Cortland?
All four were. Yep, all 4 were. Yep.
What advice would you give to kids that want to play at that next level, whether it's D3, D2, D1, whatever it may be?
It's a grind. I mean, you really, really have to work hard. And I know that sounds cliche, and everybody always says like the hard workers always succeed, so on and so forth. But you really do. You have to put your time in. You can't just walk into a gym and think that you're going to be able to compete against somebody who's really been practicing and working on their game. And you just got to be able to handle adversity a little bit. Things aren't always going to go your way. And I know this is, at least at the Division III level, every kid that ends up going there or playing there was the best player on their high school team. So just like you were, or maybe another one of your teammates. So you have to compete. Like, those guys are going to become your teammates, but you also have to be able to be a competitor and compete against those guys to fight for those chances. And I mean, I say it all the time, hard work is undefeated. Just put the time in, get in the gym, do things correctly, work your tail off. If you want to be a basketball player, you really, really have to put time in to do that.
For sure. And I think some people don't understand that, like, even if you're playing at D3, like, that's still a huge, like, achievement. You're still playing with some of, like, the best players, like, in the world or just, like, in the United States in general. And I think sometimes people, like, scoff at, like, Division 3 and 2 players when there's some of the best players that you've probably just never seen before,
And there's really not too much of a difference. I mean, honestly, if you look at the difference in, your Final Four teams in Division 3 and your overall regular season teams in Division 2 and Division 1, the gap's really not that big. Athleticism, maybe size, maybe the ability to shoot the ball a little bit more, things like that really kind of play into it. And then you just got to get in there and compete. No matter what level you're playing at, you got to be a competitor. You've got to want it, and you've got to go get it.
For sure. And what would you say your favorite basketball memory is?
Ooh, man, that's tough. Favorite basketball memory. I mean, I've got to go back to high school at Pine Plains with Zach and Ty and Adam Miller and all the guys that were on that team. Like, high school basketball was so much fun. we come from a really small town, and we're not that far north of New York City, but it's still a really small town in Dutchess County. We Class C school, so like school classes, we're near the bottom of school classes, and we just had so much fun. We played hard. We went to gyms. Everybody knew who we were. We knew we were going to get every team's best effort, which kind of had to raise our game. Getting beat by Germantown. Dan Thomas. He played at a local school nearby. But yeah, I mean, I got to go Pine Plains. I had such great times. I won a lot of awards there as an individual player. But we won, and winning has always been the most important thing for me. Whether I score 2, whether I score 20, it doesn't really matter. If we win the game, we remember the game. I can't tell you how many times in college or in high school, I scored a lot of points and we lost. I couldn't tell you what game it was or what it was, but I could tell you the games we won and the games that we ended up losing. But yeah, I would definitely say Pine Plains.
For sure. And what are your thoughts about, whole March Madness being canceled, and what are your thoughts for like those seniors that, aren't going to get to play out their senior season or like potentially miss out on, draft stock for, I know WNBA just had draft, but, NBA guys?
It's tough. It really is tough. I honestly, not as much as the college players because they were able to play a little bit longer, but I feel bad for the regular high school kid who played at Class D wherever, and they were going to make a state championship run, and that was going to be the last time they really played competitive basketball. I feel more for those kids than I do the college kids, just because even when I was a senior in high school, that was my Super Bowl, you could say, where we wanted to go do that. It was the kids you grow up with. It's just really an unfortunate situation. I was coaching this year at Pine Plains. We won the sectional final. We had to go play a regional game down in Westchester, right where the pandemic was really big in the beginning. We played in a closed gym, no fans, in their home gym, and it was just the weirdest environment ever. And the next day, we ended up losing that game, but then the next day they said, New York State playoffs are canceled for now. But it's tough, man. Well, that's when I knew this was serious. When you can cancel March Madness,
Yeah.
and the big pawn that the NCAA is, that when you can cancel that means something's big time's going on.
Yeah, I was down in Charlotte visiting my friend Corey, and we had tickets for Friday and Sunday's games for March Madness, and we were super pissed that it got canceled. But obviously, bigger things are at hand right now. It just stinks that we play sports, but yeah, it stinks for us. Like you said, the high school. I have my one cousin who played high school lacrosse, and he's trying to get recruited and go play.
Yeah.
And, all these guys, or all the seniors, girls and guys that are trying to get recruited and go to school, and especially now, all they can really do is do online tours of colleges, and it's hard to actually go there, and it's hard to get recruited or meet with the coaches and stuff and get that feel. So it's going to be real interesting come fall.
It's going to be tough.
It's opened up and whatnot. We don't really know. But yeah, but March Madness being canceled just stinks, just for we both sport management, so advertising, marketing, all that stuff kind of just goes out the window.
Yeah, a ton. Yeah, it's crazy. It really, really is.
What about your favorite basketball game you've watched and one you've been to?
Favorite game I've watched and one I've been to. Well, I'll say when I went to the Final Four, Ty was playing at Cuse. We went down to the Final Four. Just that experience was really, really cool to see one of my best friends be able to play on that big of a stage. And then just being at the Final Four as a basketball person, it was my first Final Four I went to. You're in a football stadium. There's 100,000 fans. That was a really, really cool experience. And then best game I've watched. That's a tough one. I've watched so many basketball games, but I'll go a girls' high school basketball game. It was the Federations, or was it the state tournament? It might have been the state tournament. It was one of them, but it was Ossining girls against Cicero North, and Brianna Stewart was on Cicero North, and Sanaya Chong, who also played at UConn, was on Ossining. And those were the boys, girls, doesn't matter. Those were the two best high school players that year. They were unbelievable, and really, really good.
Yeah, I don't even know where. I've been to all the NCAA tournaments in Buffalo. The first year I went, we saw UConn when they had Shabazz Napier, and they ended up winning.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool. Then the second time we went, we saw Wisconsin upset Villanova, so that was pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
And then my first ever NBA game was the Cavs versus Warriors the first year after the Warriors won. So my first game was Curry versus LeBron. So that was pretty.
Yeah, that's sick. That's awesome.
But yeah, a lot of games. Like you said, just so many games that you've watched over years. It's so hard to like pick it down to
Yeah,
one. And
yeah,
even
it
games
is
on
tough.
TV, I remember like screaming in my room when Ray Allen hit the three to tie the game in the finals. I'm a Heat fan, so
Right.
uh,
Oh yeah, that's a big memory for you then.
yes, sir. Yeah, Dwayne Wade's my favorite player of all time. So, who's your favorite NBA player?
Another tough question. I'm going LeBron.
LeBron.
I've just been always a big LeBron fan, not only on the court but off the court. Like that guy's been in the spotlight since he was 12 years old, and he's hasn't really done anything wrong. And he's always been a good leader. He's been a good teammate. He's been a really good player, and what he's done for the game of basketball is unbelievable. So I'll go LeBron. But there's a lot of other guys. Like I love Russell Westbrook. He just plays so hard. Durant is just an unbelievable scorer. I'm a big fan of Luka Doncic now, Devin Booker, all those new guys that are coming into the league. So yeah, there's a few, but I'll go LeBron.
Yeah, I think it's awesome what he does like off the court too, between like the I Promise school and just
Yeah,
like all
it's
the
unbelievable.
handle. He's always like a class act, like you said. Just handled himself right from a young age. Always gives back to his like community where he's from in Akron, and always says and does the right things on and off the court. Um, yeah, Dwayne Wade was my favorite player, so now he's done. So now I don't have like a real. I've always loved Damian Lillard. We have the same
Yeah, I
birthday,
love. Yeah,
so that
yep,
helps. But I've
yep,
always been a John Wall guy too. I'm hoping he comes back strong. He's one of my
yep.
favorite players to watch. And then what about college basketball? Who's your favorite college? Probably Leiden or
So that's a funny question. So I'm a big Texas Longhorns fan. Their basketball program has been terrible, but each
Cade?
year I kind of now that I'm like getting into coaching and stuff, each year now I'm kind of finding like two or three teams that I specifically watch. Like this year, I watched a ton of Seton Hall. Actually, it's funny you're going to have him on later, but I watched a ton of Seton Hall just because they were so good. Miles Powell was so good. Um, I ended up watching a lot of Big 12, obviously, because Texas is there, but Kansas was really good. Baylor was really good. And then I always try to watch a team out west, like Gonzaga. San Francisco was pretty good this year. Teams out there that really compete, play hard, and you don't really watch because they play at 11 o'clock at night when you're on the East Coast.
Yeah,
Yeah, I try to find two or three teams to really watch and hang on to. But I remember when I was a kid, I was a UConn fan. I love Kemba Walker. Kemba was unbelievable at UConn. I was at prep school when they won the second one with Shabazz against Kentucky. So yeah, I like UConn basketball a lot. I think they're on the up and coming now too with Hurley coaching. But yeah, I'll go with those.
yeah, for sure. Being from Buffalo, I mean, we got UB and Canisius, Niagara, Bonnie are like the big four kind of for our
Yeah,
area. And I've been going to Canisius games since I was 3 with my grandpa. But I just always loved like the mid majors just because I've always loved them in the tournaments, being able to upset the top guys. And I think people don't realize like some of the best players in the world come from these mid majors that like aren't
yeah,
always on national television, whether it was Curry at Davidson or you had Paul George, Fresno State. I mean, Kawhi
yeah.
Leonard, San Diego State, and like, yeah, they were ranked, but not a lot of people really knew about them. But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
different. When Kawhi was there, nobody knew about San Diego State.
yeah,
Now like they're really, really good and they're ranked, but like Kawhi was there, it was like, what is the school?
yeah. Can you? I mean, you watching UB the past like 3-4 years when they had Nate Oates between Massenberg, Jeremy Harris, Nick Perkins. Those guys were a bunch of dogs, and like beating
Right.
Arizona, and then beating Arizona State in the first round the next year. And then obviously they got a tough matchup in Texas Tech. But excuse me, they're really fun to watch. And then Canisius, I had Billy Barron for 2 years. I wish I had him for 4. He's
Yeah.
probably one of the best, if not best player I've seen like college-wise in person, besides probably Shabazz and guys like
Yeah.
that. But then you said, I watched a lot of Seton Hall this year because my guy Takala was going to be on after you. I saw him at Canisius for 2 years, so
Yeah.
big opportunity for him. I know he was sad that he had to sit out for the years because of transfer rules and whatnot. But I think they're going to be good this year for sure. They got Aiken in from their transfer from Harvard.
He's going to be so tough there. He's
And
going to be
Mamu's probably coming back. I know he declared for the
yeah.
draft, signed with anyone. So, and then you got Miles Kale, Roden, every one of those guys. But yeah, Powell's just he's a different. Him and Marcus Howard going back and forth. They were just
Yeah, whole lot of buckets, man. Whole lot of buckets.
big, tough guys. But what do you think? Cortland guys here. Got to talk some Cortland hoops too.
Yeah.
They did pretty good this year. Between Fitzpatrick, Benura, those guys. What was your favorite memory from playing at Cortland?
Favorite memory. This is a tough question as well. I'll say winning the SUNYAC as a freshman is definitely up there. But honestly, it's more just like the people you meet, the connections you make, the friends you make. I mean, you end up living with all these guys that were complete strangers, and you really become lifelong friends. Like I'm best friends with all those guys. I talk with a bunch of them every single day. Like I talk with Coach Mo literally every single day, whether it's about a player, whether it's about this, whether it's about that. But I would definitely say like the connections, the relationships that I made playing there is trumps everything else playing wise. Even though I had a really good career, we won a good amount of games and things like that. But definitely the friendships and stuff I made.
Yeah, I wish I would have gotten into like broadcasting and stuff sooner because I love calling your guys' game during senior year. You guys were just so super fast up and down the court all the time. You guys
Yeah.
were tough to play. I just remember when you guys played Brockport at home, and I'm going through the starting lineups, and I see they had Chris Atkinson on Brockport, and he played at Canisius for a
He was
year.
at Canisius.
I
Yeah.
was like, I feel like I know this guy, and I saw him. I was like, no way. He was
Yeah.
tough though, but yeah, you guys were always. I mean, between you, Leiden, Morales was there, Fitzpatrick, Nicky Benura, all those guys. And they got some good players this year. I can't think of the big guy's name that they had. He was putting up like
They
20.
got Eric Edwards, they got
Yeah,
Grunder. Grunder was like a vacuum on the rebounds, man. He
yeah,
rebounded everything. No, they've got a lot of potential. They've got some kids that are coming in who have actually, some of them have been joining my Zoom workouts and working out. They've got a good group, and I think they've got a good crew that's coming in that's really going to work hard and compete, and that's what Division III basketball is all about, is working hard and competing.
for sure, for sure. 11:50. We got like 10 more minutes. I'm gonna give you some rapid fire questions here.
All right,
And
cool.
some of these I took from Billy Barron. Actually, he's been doing Euro League. He's been doing like Zoom workouts at home for like those people. So I took some of his questions too. But so wherever you're at, Pine Plains, wherever you walk into 7-Eleven, Sunoco, whatever. What snack and what drink are you coming out with?
I'm probably grabbing a water or a seltzer. Shout out Coach Span. I'll probably grab a seltzer and a bag of Skittles.
Bag of Skittles. All right, all right. If you could play one-on-one with any NBA player, who would it be and why?
Wow, this is tough. I'd probably do some research and find the worst defender and see who gets scored on the most, and I'd probably try to play against them.
You don't want to play against like Pat Beverly or Avery Bradley?
Nah, I'm good, man. Beverly talks too much for me, man.
And then, so since I've been doing podcasts and stuff, I don't know if you listen to any podcasts in general, but what's one topic you would love to listen to if you were going to listen to a podcast?
Just people's playing experience. I actually listened to Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson's, what is it called, All the Smoke or something. And I've been listening to the one with Draymond Green. I started this morning. And just like how much of a fiery competitor he is, it's just awesome. So to kind of hear like backstories of players and what they went through to get where they are, I think stories like that are awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I try to do my best listening to a lot of different between either it's Barstool. I love Pardon My Take on Barstool. I think that stuff's so fun.
Yeah, hilarious.
Between that and Spit and Chiplets with Dave Bassinet for NHL, love listening to that stuff. I guess let's see. I think we got like 5. You got the time on you by chance, Justin?
Yeah, 11:52 we got.
All right, so we got like 8 minutes left. So what NFL team are you? What's your fan team?
I'm a Jets guy. I don't speak about Jets football a lot. I remember I used to have a Jets T-shirt I'd always wear for every game, and I threw it out when I was a freshman in college because they were so bad. But I'll say I'm a Jets guy.
Did you pay attention to the draft at all, or last night, or past few days?
I watched a little bit of the beginning. I had a Zoom workout late at night on the first night, so I watched the beginning of the draft. I am happy the Giants went with an offensive lineman, though, because I think that's going to help them out a lot. And I'm happy the Dolphins took Tua.
Yeah, Tua's tough. I don't know. I'm a Bills
I
fan.
think he's going to be
Hoping
fine. I think he's going to be okay. I think people that are non-sports people look into like the injuries and stuff a little too much. Like it's 2020. It's not the same hip injury that it was 10 or 20 years ago. You know, I think the technology, the rehabs, the taking your time, there's no rush. Like he's going to sit the whole year and he'll
yeah,
just rehab that for an entire year. He'll learn the playbook. I think he's going to do great. And as a Jets fan, that kind of stinks because then he's going to beat up on us. But whatever, man. As long as he has a good career, I'll be happy.
yeah. I mean, now that they got Tua, the AFC East got a bunch of young, good quarterbacks: Allen, Darnold, Tua. Who knows what the Patriots are doing? I'm just glad Tom Brady's finally not there. Made me really happy.
Yeah.
But yeah. My cousin
We
just
got a
asked.
comment down there,
Yeah,
Allen or Darnold.
yeah.
I'm going Darnold, man. Just for my guy Ryan McWilliams. I'm gonna go Sam Darnold.
You know, my one friend, good friend's a Jets fan, and we go back and forth. But I think Sam Darnold's like people, give me smack about it because I'm a Bills fan. But I think Sam Darnold's really good. I think he just hasn't had like the personnel around him. I think the Bills have done like a good job of like building around Allen. Whatnot. We've got Diggs, John Brown, Beasley, Knox, and
Yeah.
Darnold's kind of tough right now. He doesn't have any receivers there, but I think so far over the 2 years, I think Allen's done better than Darnold, but I think like going forward, we don't really know. I just think I get mad mostly when Bills and Jets fans talk about like they just I feel like some fans completely discount Allen's like rushing and like running touchdowns, which like really aggravates me.
No, he's really good. He's done a lot of good things, and he's starting to bring the Bills football back. He's circling the wagons.
Yeah, I know. Two playoff appearances in 3 years after 17 without it has been big
Yeah.
fresh air here in Buffalo. We're all hyped up. The Diggs trade really got us hyped up even more. We think we're gonna make a run this year. Hopefully the season happens. We don't really know. Maybe it's gonna be without fans, which would
Yeah,
be
it's
really
crazy.
really
Crazy. Who knows?
that'd be really weird without fans for sure. But hopefully sooner than later. We don't really know when this is gonna end. Um, what else have you been up to? Chilling at home. What are you doing at home? Nothing, or playing video
Man,
games?
I'm running a lot of Zoom workouts. So Tyler and I run Zoom workouts Monday through Friday. I do the Instagram Live on Saturday. And then I've been watching a lot of like webinars, like college basketball coaches and high school coaches have been doing a lot of online coaching clinics. So I've been tuning into those. Just try to learn a little bit. And it's unique because now I finally have time to do those type of things. Obviously, under these circumstances, I don't want this type of time, but it's been good. I've been able to learn. I've been able to listen to some different coaches and really try to help what I'm trying to do and just gain some more knowledge.
For sure. I've been watching a lot of Netflix. You got any Netflix shows you've been watching or anything?
Man, I watched All American.
Yes. Good choice.
I finished that in about 3 days. That was really good. They didn't play a lot of football though. I was expecting a little more football.
Yeah.
They didn't play a ton of football. That's okay. I need to get into Ozark though. I heard Ozark's really good.
Yeah, all my friends
I
were
haven't
telling me.
started yet.
Yeah, I watched All American, same thing, like 3 days. Like it
Yeah, it was
was
quick.
like
Boom.
not a good or not a lot of like stuff, but like, good content. Oh, my boy, Big E here, Eric Flutie.
Yes,
Most
sir. My guy.
influential, most influential coach you've had. Something they've said that stuck with you to this point.
Wow. Jeez, I'm gonna let you go first. I gotta
Oh,
think about it.
I
That's a
remember.
good question, Flutie. That's a
Yeah,
good question, bro.
I mean, for me, I played tennis for 6 years in high school because I joined as a seventh grader, was on varsity, and I just from one thing that always stuck with me is when we won matches, when my coach would give us oranges every time we would win matches as a team. But I just remember I was losing. It was my senior year. I was losing in my last match potentially or to go to sectionals. I was down 1-0. I wasn't playing very well, and they talk between each set. My coach comes up to me and he was just like, so what's going on out there? And I'm like, I don't know, coach, what are you seeing? He was just like, do you want to go home today? And I was just like, no, like, what kind of motivation speech is this? And he goes, he always just told me, he always said, go be great. That was one thing that always stuck with me. And he always said, like, play your last point like it's your last, and stop always just like, you know, in tennis, it's so back and forth that, like, I think sometimes if you're up in a game, you think you can just take 1 point off when you really can't, because it can always bite you. But yeah, he always told me to just be great, and that always stuck with me.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna go with Coach Span. Coach Span's an interesting guy, but I was a captain for him for 3 years, which is really tough to do in college, being a 3-year captain. So I've sat in his office a lot and just kind of, he's an offensive genius. Like the plays he would draw up, like in the heat of the moment and timeouts, even our just regular sets, like just gave us so many options to be open. And he really gave me a lot of confidence. My freshman year, I was struggling a little bit. I was coming off of an injury. I got hurt during that year. I got my appendix out. And he would just always tell me, be confident. Just be confident. You can play, like continue to work hard. And he did a lot of nonverbal communication too, where like, you know, he would just give you kind of that look like you gotta pick it up and play harder. And I fed off that pretty well.
Yeah, every coach you've always had have always give you that like one look that, you know, like something's like to pick it up or get it going kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was a
exactly.
fan for coaching clinic, so I got to join him for a semester. That was fun to do. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
Coaches tennis too.
he's a
So
funny guy, man. He's a funny guy.
yeah, it was a good question. Good question, E. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
that's a very good question.
Let's see what time we got
You got
here.
11:59.
All right. Let's see if I can think of one more question for you.
Yep.
Let's see. If the NBA does come back and do playoffs, who's winning the whole thing?
I'm going the Lakers. It's too good of a story not to happen. And I think LeBron's on a mission. I understand everybody saying the Clippers and Kawhi and Paul George, but I don't see who's stopping Anthony Davis on the Clippers, and I just think LeBron's on a mission.
I like that. You know, got to do it for Kobe. Rest in peace. That
Yeah, man.
was such a bad thing. But, you know,
Crazy.
I think the Lakers are going to
Crazy.
get it done for him. I agree.
Yeah, man.
All right, Justin, appreciate you hopping on with me. If everyone wants to, go follow LMC Athletics, follow Justin, get some workouts in. Appreciate you taking the time, my man.
Absolutely, man. Anytime. Take care. Stay
All right,
safe.
see you, Justin.